What is up, everybody?
Hi,
and
guys.
welcome back to another Ask a Fence Gal Friday.
Yes.
We got our gal back.
Woo! Happy Friday.
So
I'm ready to
Sarah,
go.
before we get into it,
All right.
I need to ask you some questions.
Oh, okay.
We have questions, don't we?
Yep. Oh.
So there's some questions about where you were last week.
Okay.
It
so
was
there's some residual questions.
has Sarah quit Facebook altogether? Obviously not. I mean, she's back with us today. She's back with us today.
Yeah.
Did she run away? Last week.
About that too.
Last week there was the conspiracy theory about aliens living in the moon. So has Sarah gone off to find the aliens in the moon? But
no, probably not that motivated.
Obviously you're here with us. So
yes,
that was either a really quick trip to the moon and back.
Very quick. No,
where were you?
Had some dental stuff going on, but feeling better.
Okay.
So happy to be here.
I thought it would have been hilarious to have you on, last week. I thought that would have been hilarious.
No, that would not. No.
Okay.
But I'm back. That's the important.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I'm
right.
Here,
she's back.
I'm ready to go.
We've got the gal and the Fence Gal Friday.
Yeah, and I'm ready to say hi to people. So people start posting your hellos. We'd love to shout you out.
You know what I would like to see? What did you think Sarah was last week? That's what I want to see.
Conspiracy
We
theories.
should have done that first.
Yeah.
Dang it. We should have said, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
And then I need to be better at this hosting business.
Next time I'm gone, you can do that. Or vice versa.
So those of you that are just joining us for the first time, we're totally confused about what this is. Is Ask a Fence Gal Friday, where basically I ask the Fence Gal a bunch of questions, usually fence related, but sometimes not necessarily. We go off on tangents. But yeah, it's basically my weekly interview with Sarah. Sarah, why don't you tell the folks who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Sarah Everest. I handle the residential division at Ozark Fence Company. So my team, really, we do everything from, myself, I do everything from estimates all the way through the project management side of things. I'm making sure that fence gets complete, kind of a one-stop shop as far as the person goes and the one contact you see. So happy to do that. But yeah, absolutely walk the customers through the entire process. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you and your team are really like the one point, the sole, I don't want to say one point of contact, because sometimes it's your team that's reaching out and stuff like that. But they have a team of people, like one point of contact within the team, or
absolutely,
one group of people. And so the reason why I make that distinction is sometimes there's some confusion on, well, why don't I talk to Sarah directly? I want to talk to Sarah all the time, which it's fair, because you're the one that's come out to consult with them and to make sure that we're the best fit for their project and all that. But you're only one person.
That's true.
You're only one person. And while we would love for you to work like about a couple 100 hours a week and be available at any time, day and night for everyone, maybe that's not as possible. Not as possible. So we've implemented, we put team members in spots that can maybe answer some more basic questions.
Absolutely.
Or kind of act like liaisons to you, like shoot you a message if you're out in the field visiting with another client, shoot you a message. We use Slack, but just say, hey, Sarah, here's a question and all that. And then the team member, usually it's Lori, our rock star. We like Lori a lot.
Yes. Awesome.
So usually Lori then calls back and says, all right, talk to Sarah. The answer is XYZ. Yep. But sometimes there's some confusion on, well, I want to talk to Sarah.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem is Sarah's pretty busy.
Yes.
Dealing, whether it's doing project walkthroughs or anything like that. So,
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a fair point. I mean, sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than I would like to get back to someone just because I am in the field, or, we are doing locates, that sort of thing. Yep. So that's kind of where I see it, is I'm like, oh man, I need to get them an answer. Lori, will you mind telling them XYZ? Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. But as always, you're more than welcome to reach out to me.
That's right.
Happy to talk to people. I will talk to them all day.
And you're the one person that's kind of got their finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and the reason we do it this way, so, I mean, there's other models out there. So with like multiple consultants, and then you got someone else that's managing production and operations and everything like that. And it almost feels like a game of telephone where, they would reach out to the consultant or the salesperson, whatever the terminology is. And then that person says, well, I don't know. Let me transfer you over to so-and-so who's in charge of scheduling. And then you talk to so-and-so in scheduling and say, well, you know what? I really don't know. Let me actually transfer you to so-and-so. And you end up just playing a game of telephone, which is frustrating.
It is.
And so what we do is we try to keep it to a minimum amount of point of contact.
Yeah.
So typically, if they're not talking to you, they're usually talking to Lori.
Yeah.
And Lori knows where Sarah's at all times and can shoot her messages and kind of queue up questions.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about using Slack is that she can queue up 4 or 5 questions so that when you're done with a consultation or a project walkthrough, whatever you're up to, then you can kind of go through and answer those questions. And, if you got 5 minutes in between, walkthroughs, you can say, okay, Lori, the answers here are X, Y, Z. And then you can be off to the next consultation and then Lori can reach back out with those answers.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
We try to make things as efficient as possible.
Well, a lot of times Lori already has the answers.
That's true.
She has access to know when maybe a project is starting and she can say, oh, I'll just answer those for you.
Yep.
So,
right.
Yes, absolutely. Phenomenal team. Love Lori. Awesome.
Way to go, Lori.
Yeah.
So, all right. Looks like we got
comments.
A couple up here. Who are we talking to?
All right. Taylor, hello.
What's up, kiddos?
And Jackson, hi, Macy.
Yeah, so both the kiddos are home today.
Ooh, okay.
So I know this isn't Ask a Fence Guy Friday, but I'll do a little sharing
Absolutely.
for a minute.
Please.
So we've got a new member of the Fence fam showing up anytime. Mm-hmm. Technically, it's supposed to be early January, first week of January. But last night, the kiddo said, you know what we ought to do? I think we ought to go to the hospital. Let's practice this real quick. Yeah. So we went to the hospital and we got all hooked up and we're there till I think 12:30 in the morning. I felt bad because I texted you guys that we were leaving the hospital. When you're in a hospital, you lose all track of time. There's no real clocks. There's no anything. It's all the same brightness. You don't realize. So I sent out the text like, hey, they're sending us home and all that. And then I get in the car. I'm like, it is 12:45. And I just sent a text to them like, well, it's what's done is done.
Yes.
But so the kids went to their grandma and Papa's house last night. And then they went to stay with a friend of ours today. So both the kids are home. That's a really lengthy story to say. Both the kids are home. Hello, children.
Yes.
What time? Wait a minute. It's 12. Jackson, you need to be taking a nap. It is right about nap time, buddy.
Maybe he just missed his mom so much.
Maybe. And he wanted to say hi to me.
That's
probably what this is. That's exactly what this is.
Absolutely.
That's not what this is.
Well, hi, kids. We're happy that it's just 2 of you and not 3. We're good.
That's right.
Josie needs a little more time to bake. So
that's right. Well, that's it. That's it. She's still a few weeks early. So that was a conversation with the doc last night or the doctor's partner or whatever, was that, while Josie could come join us in the world right now, that probably wouldn't be the most ideal situation. Sure. While she is a big old kiddo, she's still developing lungs and all that. Sure. And they can give shots and they can do stuff like that, but you always rather for it to grow naturally. All right. But hello, kids.
Hello. Oh, well, here. On that same topic, she's picking them up now.
Oh, so show this to them later.
Yes.
Let's say hello, kids.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
So why did she say the kids say hi?
Well, I think maybe she was saying she's picking them up. And that's why Jackson has not had his nap.
But she said the kids say hi.
Well, but maybe the kids are with her. She's picking them up. She just picked them up.
On the way home with the kids.
Maybe. Yeah.
We need more clarification.
Yep. All right. Chad. There were 2 more points.
No, so what that is.
With this.
So we're doing a 10K giveaway over on the Joe Everest YouTube page.
Okay. Yeah.
And so what Chad's talking about, so you get a base amount of points for just signing up. And then you can get points for liking or subscribing to the YouTube channel, liking the Facebook page. But it will let you do every day. You can go click on it and it'll give you a couple more points. So you're right, Chad. It's exhausting. But you get 2 more points.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to do when this is all over. You're not going to have that to do every day. You got to find new buttons to click or something. I don't know. But maybe you'll be finding a way to spend your new money.
That's true. And that could take up a lot of time.
That could take up a fair amount of time. So what that is we're giving away 10 $1,000 Amazon e-gift cards.
Oh, heck
so
yeah. Okay.
$1,000 goes quite a long way on eBay. Or it doesn't. It just depends.
It depends. Yeah.
If you're me and you're buying equipment for this studio, it does not last very long. But it can. Just depends.
I mean, I feel like Amazon deserves a little bit of a shout out too.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Their stuff is it is on par.
Let me say this. Let me tell you a little story about shipping stuff.
Yes.
So I'd bought some items and they were shipping via postal service. And they shipped out on the 10th. and with an expected delivery on the 13th.
Okay.
So you're saying, well, Joe, it's the 18th. You probably got those about 5 days ago.
You didn't.
No, the last scan was in Denver. So they came from Pennsylvania. How they went to Denver first is a bit confusing because I wasn't great at geography, but I think that Denver's past Springfield. So they like almost flew over Springfield to get to Denver.
Yeah.
I say fly. Maybe they were on a truck. I don't know. It's a small
train.
box.
Could be a train.
You're right. But the last departure scan was in Denver on the 14th. So they were already late anyway. But the post office says we're not really sure where they are, but they definitely left Denver on the 14th.
Okay.
So, but I say all that. So it's been 8 days.
Yeah.
Amazon has spoiled us because Amazon is still pushing stuff out.
Yes.
Like you can
still buy stuff before Christmas is what it told me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Up earlier.
Yeah, if you've got Prime and and it's in one of their warehouses.
Yep. No problem.
They're still talking like 2, 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
That the post office can't get a small box from Pennsylvania here in 8 days, but Amazon can get you whatever you want in, within 4 days.
I've been noticing it's USPS is what Amazon's been using for me. Granted, I live a little bit out in the boonies, but it's been amazing. Like they're showing up sooner than it should have. And you know what? I'm going to go one further.
Okay.
So I bought a package from not Amazon, from another retailer, and they shipped it to me. But they said, you know what? Your package is on its way. No shipping, tracking, anything. So finally, 4 days later, I get tracking. And I find out it's DHL. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Okay. So DHL out of Wisconsin. And I ordered it Black Friday, and I just got it on Monday.
That is bizarre.
Tuesday. Yeah.
So DHL is usually international.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's usually if you want to send or receive something, DHL is like the go-to for international. So that they would use them domestically is kind of bizarre.
A lot of companies too, they'll just kind of, it's almost like a kayak. They'll like go and they'll send it out, and whoever has like the cheapest option, they just go with that.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what was happening with Black Friday, and it's a somewhat newer company. So I think that they just maybe grew a little faster than they were expecting.
Sure.
But what made me angry is I went on to their website, their tracking, and it said it's in Fairgrove, and I live 5 miles away from the post office.
Yeah.
Exactly 5. It was on
It's not
Monday.
like 5.1 or 4.9.
No.
5.
Monday is when they had it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then all of a sudden they said, should get to you on Wednesday. I'm like, are you walking it to my house?
Right. Well, surely you could walk 5 miles.
Yeah. And then I used the USPS tracking, and they're like, oh no, it's out today. You're all right. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I say that to say we were very spoiled because I was getting very impatient. I was like, it has been, I guess it's only been 2 weeks. Like, okay. But when you're used to 2 days, it's a lot.
And it's getting ready to get better with Amazon.
Yes.
Because they are building that huge fulfillment facility out in Republic.
Yeah. Creating lots of jobs.
It's like 500 some odd jobs. Yeah. Well, that's going to be crazy.
That doesn't even include the delivery drivers, too.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, all the ancillary jobs it creates around there. Yeah.
Cool.
That is pretty exciting. So let's talk to some questions real quick because I got something to talk about as far as that.
A big logistics interface now.
Yeah, we're a big logistics show.
Logistics show now, too.
Big logistics show.
Oh, so she said pick him up now.
Okay.
I was correct. She was there.
Yeah. Moving on.
So did the
wife have an orange or banana? Oh. Well, we're having a little girl. I don't know. Would that be orange or banana? I don't know. We're team orange here.
Yeah, that's
Answer
true.
is always orange.
Yeah, no matter the gender, it is
Vince
orange.
King. I know you are, Dan. I know. I'm going to call you Dan.
Yeah.
We are team orange here. All right.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I need to talk to Dan for a minute anyway.
Okay.
Because Dan was going on and on in this Facebook fence group about Team Blue. Him and Sean, the Mr. Fence, on and on about Team Blue. Team Blue this, Team Blue that.
Yeah. What's up with that, Dan?
It's Team Orange. I'm just here to tell you it's Team Orange. Always has been. Always will. Well, always has been for the last couple of years. Always will be. Always will be, though. That's the big thing. Once you go Team Orange, you don't go back.
I have another question for you and Dan.
Okay.
I also have been added to these fence groups now, right?
Yeah.
And I saw a situation that Dan said, hey, we're in this situation, utility lines.
Yeah.
How would anyone else handle this?
Yeah.
And then I distinctly remember at some point in that day, you got a phone call.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was from Dan or not. And then his response sounded a lot like the plan that I enacted for Ozark Fence, where I go the Friday before. I said, wait a minute. Either we're both really smart, or I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So here's the serious part. The reason I love the groups that we're in, because we do talk about things like this. And so, and actually, so I talk, it's funny because I lose track of where I talk about stuff where,
sure. Yeah.
But in last week's it's not Ask a Fence, guys, Ask Me Anything on my YouTube page, but we talked about this like ad nauseum, like,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forever. Yeah. But I think it's worthwhile talking about here is, so the situation was, and Dan's probably sitting there like, thanks for beating this dead horse
he's like, no,
a few more times.
I want to deal with it.
Because actually, I think I talked about it on the Ask a Fence guy for last Friday. So
last Friday, okay.
Anyway, the problem being that he had utility lines going right down the property line, which can happen. It absolutely can happen. I mean,
happens a lot.
You've got more or less two choices on where you want these utility lines. You can run them right through the middle of the yard, or you can run them on the edge of the yard. And as a fence company, we prefer they run them through the middle of the yard. But people plant flowers, they plant trees, they plant. I get it. They have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So the conversation is, what do you do?
Right.
I mean, the way the marks work is you've got a 4 foot wide swath of somewhere where that line could be. Just because it's marked there doesn't mean that's where it is. They have a 2 foot margin of error on either side of that line. So you have a 4 foot path where it could be anywhere in there.
Yeah.
So, we don't dig within that zone, because legally, it's all spelled out very clearly. Legally, we accept liability for any damages done to those lines, and those damages can be costly.
Very.
So if we're talking about a non-fiber optic, so a coax or an old phone copper, whatever, those start at about $3,000. If you start talking about fiber, which now, it's nice that AT&T is running fiber to the house. That's great. But fiber starts at about $10,000 repair. So, as a fence company, we can't take on that liability. We talked about it a while ago about kind of where does the money go when we're talking about the price of fence.
Right.
So when you boil everything down, when you pay the materials, you pay the guys, you pay insurance, you pay overhead, at the end of the day, you're left with about 10% net profit.
Yeah.
So an average job for us is about $4,000, $4,200, I think. Yeah. Which means on an average job, we take home about $420. Right. You got to do a lot of $420 jobs to make up for a $10,000 repair bill. Yeah. Can you claim it on insurance? Sure. But then your rates go up. So you pay for it now, or you pay more for it later. Right. So our stance is we can't take that responsibility, that liability. It's just we can't take that risk. So so typically we have the locate scheduled for the Friday before, and so this would probably be fun to talk about it a day in your life, like pre and post the show on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you go out and visit the job site. It's not the clients don't necessarily need to be there. No. You go do a job walk, see where the utility lines, where's everything going to go. Yep. So and you're doing that today for the projects that start next week.
Yes.
So that way, okay, hey, we need to pause. We need to rehuddle on this real quick and get a game plan together before we come out on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For that exact reason.
Yeah.
Because we've been in those shoes where the guys show up Monday morning and you get a phone call, you get a text with a picture, then you get a phone call. Hey, did you get my text? I did get your text. Yep. I did see the picture. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Hang tight. I'll be there in a few minutes. Yeah. And so now you've got a crew, which for us is 3 guys, and then their truck, trailer, piece of equipment that are sitting there for 20, 30 minutes for you to get on site. And then you generally have to reach out to the customer to try to game plan this with them.
Right.
You lose a lot of time. We try to do that the Friday before.
Yeah. And I think that's helpful too, just because, any of my customers also have my cell phone too. So what I do is I go out there on a Friday. Typically I would say 85 to 90% of the time, no problem. Yeah. Those aren't utilities, anywhere where the fence needs to go. But on occasion there are. And so at that point, that's when I stop. I call that customer. I say, hey, I'm going to send you a picture real quick so you can see what I'm seeing too. This is a concern. So also on Fridays, when I go to do those utility locates, I also put Ozark Fence flags to show the guys kind of stopping and starting points. Because not always we have our wood crew, which is predominantly who I communicate with a lot.
Sure.
And then we also have another crew too. So I could easily be on a different site that Monday, but that way everyone knows stop points. Yeah. So while I'm putting flags,
and I'll pause that for a second, Sarah. So that also gives the customer a chance to visualize that layout too.
Right. Exactly. So they're able to see it and maybe mow around it and go, okay, I didn't think about this. Maybe let's add a gate, or can we, do something?
And that's one of the
small weekend to think.
That's kind of one of the unintended benefits that I didn't foresee happening, but we found is that customers look at those flags and go, "Oh, you know what? I said I wanted it to the back corner of the house, but now that I'm looking at the flags and the layout, I'd really rather it come further up the house or gates, like you said." I know I said I wanted the gate here, but when I'm looking at it, it makes more sense to move it. So one of the unintended benefits that I think we really like.
Yeah, and so some of that is also done at that final walkthrough before we go out there.
Sure.
I like to do that, especially if maybe both decision makers aren't there.
Yeah.
To go, you know what? Let me just leave these flags in. You take them out when you want to mow. That's fine.
Yep.
But let's put these flags in, mow around them, look at them. It's just a visual representation of where that fence is going to be.
Sure.
And that way you guys can both talk about it. And so I like to do that a little before, but you're exactly right. If for some reason they thought, and then all of a sudden something sparks and they see it.
Yeah.
Yep. So it just puts everyone on the same page. So I do that. And then that's exactly. So as soon as I see a utility problem, I call them. That gives them all weekend to think about it.
Yep.
Okay. And then I say, you know what? I'm going to put flag 1 and flag 2 and where I would suggest this fence to go. So then you can look at it when you get home.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're home and you can have that conversation. And
sure.
Normally everyone understands. They get it. But
I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Right.
Those lines are there.
They get it. Yeah, they understand. But I am seeing that more and more frequently with the newer subdivisions being built are those AT&T lines running right through either the back or the side.
Yeah.
So that's
right on the property line.
Yeah. So we too are getting some of those, Dan. You're not the only one.
Yep. We deal with it. But to your original point is that, so Dan and I talk, and it's like a group of us that kind of talk through issues and how would you do it? What do you do? And then we kind of reformulate our game plan.
Yeah.
So, and it's happened before where, I'll post something in one of the groups or I'll reach out via phone to one of the guys and say, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, this is how I handle it and it works, but it could be better.
Yeah.
And then I bring that back to you and I'm like, all right, here's what I think we ought to do. We ought to make a tweak to this. And based on conversations with Dan and Sean and all the other guys in these fence groups. So, So guys, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys.
It's really wonderful. It is because you don't, you have some of your BNI groups here in town, but it's amazing because generally every fence contractor is going to run into similar problems.
Yeah.
And there's always room for improvement. Like that's what's nice.
And it always seems like there's that mentality that doesn't need to be there, but there's that mentality in your own, market that the fence companies are your competition.
Right.
Which in one sense they are, sure. But the thing is, like when you really boil it down, there's so many fences, there's so much work in one market that one company couldn't possibly take all of it.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
We have 3 or 4 competitors in our market that do good work. And
absolutely.
Unfortunately, and we have a fairly good relationship with one of them, with a couple of them. I don't want to make it sound, bad, but you still don't feel comfortable having those conversations, right? Especially when it comes to money and finance and all that, because there's also some like antitrust issues with talking money within your own market. So it's nice having those Facebook groups that you can kind of bounce ideas off each other and have conversations.
Yeah, it's really neat. I like it. All right, we got some more comments here. Thank you, Brent. Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
But it's also good to see me here, though, right? Like I feel like I just need to ask, like, because like I talked to Brent yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked to him yesterday on my Mad Sprint home when I got that we're going to the hospital.
Oh, yes.
Because he was sending me something, which I greatly appreciate. So anyway, but he knew that I might not be here. So anyway, I was telling him I was going to the hospital. That there might be a baby. Maybe I wasn't here today.
Well, then that next week you could say, "Good to see your brother back there, Sarah."
Maybe.
We'll see.
We need to talk about this.
Write this
we
down.
need to figure this out.
And whenever you do take your is that paternity leave? Your paternity leave. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
We'll see what he says.
Yeah, you got it.
I'd write it down if I were you, Brent. All right, Chad.
Yeah, so Chad's question, do you think it's beneficial for a staining contractor to join AFA? I do not build, just stain. Chad, honestly, I do. And here's why. And full transparency, I am on the board for the Midwest chapter of the AFA. So there is that. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. I was a member long before I served on board. I honestly think it's beneficial. I really do. And not just for fencing contractors. If I would call, staining a fence associated, right? An associate of fencing, like it's a college degree or something. Yeah, I think it's beneficial because, one, you get up-to-date information about the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
So in fence staining, a lot of times you'll get into probably repair work. So you are involved in the fencing industry. So it's good to stay up to date with what's going on in the industry.
Sure.
Tony Thornton, I did an interview with him. Gosh, it's probably been a month and a half ago. He's the executive director of the American Fence Association. And he and I kind of had this conversation about the benefits of it. And Tony gives out his information and his knowledge free of charge,
That's
like
awesome.
to members and non-members alike, because he wants to see the industry as a whole. And I fully believe that staining contractors and associated contractors are part of the industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Because without them, I mean, you're missing a large portion of the industry.
Yeah.
Tony wants to see the industry as a whole rise.
Yeah.
Rising tide raises all the ships, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so you get associated benefits too. So, there's affiliate members that, or I don't know what they're called, but affiliate discounts, I guess, with like insurance agents. There's some buying power that you have, like through. I want to say it's someone like Sam's, but I'm not complete. Don't quote me on that because it might not be right. But there's associated benefits to it. Chad, I would say this. I would say, you can go on the AFA's website. They have their member benefits laid out there. Just kind of weigh it out. I don't know that the cost. I don't know the cost specifically. I think it's $400 or $500 or something like that to be a part of it per year. I absolutely get value out of it. I mean, and I'm a fencing contractor, so
right.
But we also do staining and sealing. So
yeah,
I see things from that perspective too. I think it's absolutely beneficial to be a part of it. Honestly, Chad, I think it'd be beneficial for you to go to Fence Tech too. And here's why is, I mean, there's a trade show floor. So a lot of that wouldn't pertain to staining. I mean, you see a lot of staining suppliers there at Fence Tech. I know Stand Steel Experts is planning on being there. But also it's the education that goes along with it. So there's, educational classes for days prior to the floor being open.
Okay.
And some of it is fencing, right? But some of it's plan reading, which might not also be applicable to staining, but a lot of it's business, so like business finance, drafting a business plan, some general business knowledge and education that goes along with that as well. I think that's incredibly helpful as well. And as an AFA member, you get discounted rates to go to Fence Tech and participate in educational events. So, yeah, I think so. I honestly do, Chad.
Okay.
But I mean, that's also each and everyone's individual, preference, and it's a choice based on you and your business.
Right.
I think if I were in your shoes, I would say yes, but ultimately, I would just encourage you to check out the benefits on the website, and I would encourage you to reach out to Tony.
Speaking of that,
Tony's here. What is up? Okay,
Hi,
I'm glad you caught that because I was going to say, Chad, you should reach out to Tony. So after the interview, I'd received messages and comments about guys that had reached out to Tony and were blown away at just how he reached out at the drop of a hat, how he was there to walk them through whatever questions they had. I think it's sad and it's not. It's that there's an expectation of just lack of customer service in general from large organizations. And so everyone's blown away when they deal with Tony just because his level of customer service is
just phenomenal,
unheard of. Good. It really is. So, Chad, I would encourage you to reach out to Tony, and I think after a conversation with him, you'd be very pleased. And here we go.
All right, there we go.
So here's the craziest thing. Like Tony quite obviously gives out his cell number to everyone. So I'll tell a story, and I've told the story. So those of you that have been with us for a while, bear with me. So when I was wanting to reach out to Tony about coming and interviewing on my Joe Everest channel, I had sent him a message, I'd sent him a message because I got his number from one of the guys in the Midwest chapter, our president, Dan. I was like, well, this is a cell phone number. Are you sure? Like, I'm just supposed to reach out on this? He's like, yeah, no, it's no problem. I was like, I'm still going to send him a message first. It doesn't feel right. And I got a response. Now this was like on my way home. So this is like 7:30. I'd worked late that night. And so I was like, I don't know. So I messaged him and it was like 2 minutes later. Hey, I'm right in the middle of something right now. Can I call you back in like 5 minutes?
Yes.
Sure. And then
That's
we
awesome.
went on to have like a 45-minute conversation. So I'm looking at my clock, like it is after 8:00 at night on a work night. And this guy's just like, what else can I help you with? Like, how else can I be of service? So
that's awesome.
Blown away. Absolutely.
That shows just passion for what you do.
That's right. That's right. Chad, you're welcome. I appreciate you joining us. You know, we, I talk about this a lot, but we wouldn't have a great idea of the conversation that you guys want us to have, the information that you guys need without you guys joining in and dropping your comments and questions below. You guys help us just as much as we help you, quite honestly. And Sarah's a lot like me. I'm not great at taking compliments. So like on the other channel, I'll say, no, Chad, thank you. Like, don't thank me. Thank you. I'm going to pass that compliment right back to you.
Yep. I like it. That's cool. Bringing people together. I like it.
That's right.
All right.
So do we have anything else?
Brent, your package was received.
We got your package today.
Logistics. Here we are.
I think we can share it on the channel because actually I think 2 weeks ago Brent had mentioned it. So Brent's sending some crab.
That's right.
We got some crab and lobster tails. He put in a couple lobster and some fish. I'm telling you guys, there's about to be a feast at our house. At once, Taylor can participate, of course.
Well, yeah.
But it's going to be a feast.
I love it. I'm here for it.
So, Brent, thank you.
Brent also says, enjoy.
Thank you.
After the baby.
Wait till after the baby. Okay. Yep. You got it.
Maybe then you'll get your shout out.
Yep, that's right. Yep. That's right. So, let's talk about, we got some big stuff coming up, but I'm learning things.
Yes.
And so I'm learning you tease the big news and you talk about it later.
Yes.
So
okay.
Huge news coming up. Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
No commercial breaks.
No commercial breaks, but we're just going to talk about Fence for.
Okay. Yep.
But actually, we're not going to talk about Fence for the minute. What we're going to talk about is our live schedule. Because next week, Christmas is on a Friday.
That's true.
We went several weeks trying to figure out what day Christmas was on, I feel like.
Yeah.
And
Angela finally set us straight.
Angela helped us out and let us know, because I was looking at December of last year. So it was important that we look at December this year. Anyway, Christmas is on Friday.
Yes.
And we're not going to have Ask a Fence Gal Friday on Christmas.
No.
Because you guys have other stuff to do.
Yeah.
But so we thought we're also going to be closed as a business Christmas Eve.
Yes.
So, and I do on my YouTube live. I feel like I say that a lot. Shameless plugs, whatever. I do a live there from 3 to 5:30 on Thursdays. So if we did this and then that, it'd be a lot of time on a camera.
Yep.
So we're gonna do it on Wednesday. We're gonna Ask a Fence Gal Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have quite the ring of Ask a Fence Gal Friday, but we're gonna do it on Wednesday next week.
I like it.
So that way everyone has a chance.
Things up.
And Sarah and I at length went over like how all of like the computer stuff works.
Yes.
So that should baby Josie decide that she'd like to come next week, right before Christmas, and I'm not here, you are in capable hands. Sarah can launch it herself. Just like last week, we didn't have the Fence Gal. Next week, we might not have the Fence Guy.
That's true.
So, well, actually, one of these weeks we're not.
Yeah.
So,
coming up.
Right now, we've got a date of January the 4th, which is a Monday. So, and my plan is I'm not going to be at work that week. I'm going to leave it in your guys' capable hands.
All right.
And I'm going to spend some time bonding with the new family.
Heck yeah.
Doing that business. And then coming back on kind of like a limited schedule sort of thing. Yeah. So I won't be here that Friday. Whatever Friday the baby shows up, I probably won't be here.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I got to thinking too, the weekend after, or the week after Christmas is going to be, New Year's is going to be on Friday. So maybe do Ask a Fence Gal Wednesday 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. So next week and the week after on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Sounds like a solid plan.
All right. I like it. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So what else do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about the big news?
No.
Do we want to talk about it yet?
We can wait a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm waiting for someone to mention it in the comments.
The big news?
Yeah, the big news.
You think people in the comments know about the big news?
I think so. I was asked a couple times.
Okay.
Earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do this. This is the lesson we learned earlier.
Oh, yes.
Why don't you guess what Sarah's big news is?
Yep.
Why don't you take a guess? And I'll say this. The first person that gets it right will get a virtual high five from both of us. We're going to give you the high five. And we'll give you a shout out. We'll throw it up on the screen, give you a shout out, virtual high five. if anyone guesses what Sarah's big news is.
Yes.
It's huge.
Well, I think we should let a couple people guess first before, because I feel like
it
could be guessed.
We'll give it 5 minutes or 5 answers.
Love it.
Do you want to do that?
Okay.
5 or 5. Okay.
5 or 5.
5 or 5.
I like it.
So while you guys are guessing on Sarah's huge news and competing for this virtual high five, let's talk about the price of fence.
Oh,
because
we have to?
Yeah, we do. Everyone deserves to know. Everyone deserves to know. Yes. So yeah, the price of all things metal is going up. Yes. Has gone up in the recent weeks and is continuing to go up. We actually talked about it, I think, a few weeks ago. Stevens Pipe and Steel is one of our steel suppliers, like on our steel tube and that sort of thing. We'd gotten a notice from them I guess we got it from them in October. They're going up 5% November 1st, 5% December 1st, 8% January 1st. And those are all cumulative, or they add, so they're compounding. 19% is basically in the end of it. After January 1st, everything has gone up 19%.
Yeah.
And we tried to adjust for that. But then, so that was one of our suppliers. Another one of our suppliers that I will remain nameless because I don't want this to come off as a bashing of them.
Sure, absolutely.
Everyone's dealing with everything in their own way, right? So we knew prices increases were coming from other suppliers. We hadn't got notified from them, but we kind of saw writing on the wall until the truck showed up yesterday. And so lately it's been, we don't get notified of prices, and you can ask them what the price is today, but then the truck could show up tomorrow and it could be completely different because it's based on the price of materials whenever, the price of that fitting the day that truck goes out. So we got truck showed up yesterday, and also they just let you know what they charged your card. Like, you have a card on file. They just let you know what you paid for it when the truck shows up, which is neat because all of our fittings showed up, and they were, depending on which fittings they were, somewhere between 23 and 29% higher than they were last week. And we're talking common stuff, right? So for you fencing guys and gals out there, it's like 2.5-inch tension bands, 2.5-inch brace bands, 1.3-inch railings. 1.3-inch steel railings went up like 38 or 39%, like from the week prior. 1.5-inch steel railings galvanized when it was nuts.
Yeah.
So
a little frustrating.
We're scrambling. Just because we're basing our pricing off of last week's shipment, which is based on the week before and all that. So now all of a sudden, steel railings are, up 38%. So price of fence has to go up. Just because, so in our discussion earlier, when we talked about it, we net 10%, and that's if everything goes exactly right. So there's not enough there to absorb a 30+% increase on fittings. There just isn't, especially one that didn't come with a notice. Hey guys, guess what? We just bought this huge load of 2.5-inch tension bands. The price is quite a bit higher. Like, not even the courtesy of that. It was just, oh, by the way, you just paid a lot more money for this.
Right. Which is a little frustrating because they could have been sourced elsewhere.
Yeah. Right.
So that is a discussion to be had.
Yeah. And it is. And it always is, right? In that, you got to figure out, because we have a duty to our clients to spend their money wisely.
Right.
And so if that means, you got to source stuff elsewhere, you have to. So, but for the time being, the price of chain link fence is going up. It just has to, just because the price of everything steel has gone up. And the reason being, so I kind of teased this earlier, I guess, in that, so we're talking about the Amazon facility going up. So I reached out to some industry folks, and actually, Tony, if you're still with us, you can weigh in on this too, on causes for the steel increase. What we heard from Stevens SPS was the price of raw materials has gone up significantly. The supply is low, the demand is high, et cetera, and onward. But I kept thinking, like, where is all this raw material going? Until I was talking to one of our customers the other day that does a lot of building. And I was like, because he was wanting a dumpster, a trash enclosure, and he was wanting chain link. Like, well, you might want to rethink that. And that was prior to this week's shipment showing up. So, like, even doubly so now, but you might want to rethink that just because the price of chain link is getting pretty high, almost to the point where I don't know that you have the same value there.
Yeah.
He's like, and I was like, I don't know why. I was like, they say raw material, supplies high or supplies low, demand's high. He goes, you know where it's going. It's going to all this building that's going on.
Yeah.
It's going all to this Red Iron. This Amazon facility that they're building that is massive. They're building like 20 something of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's just one company that's building these massive warehouses. So, I mean, you also have like Google announced that they're building like some massive data centers that are going to take Red Iron for the structure and all that. Anyway, so all the raw materials go into building when, if I'm this, raw ore producer, am I going to sell it to the company that makes fence fittings, or am I going to sell it to the Red Iron company who will pay more? Like, I guarantee you, Amazon will pay more for Red Iron than I will pay for fence fittings.
Well, they'll buy more of it. Too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, that's the cause that I've heard and that I'm hearing. I'd be interested to hear Tony's thoughts. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, raw materials are in demand, and that's the thing. Well, so demand is also a function on the fencing side too. So we're seeing, wood prices get really high. Vinyl, we don't deal in vinyl a whole lot, but from those I talk to in the industry, vinyl is incredibly hard to find, and when you can find it, it's incredibly expensive, which sounds familiar because it's the same thing that we heard and that we said about treated pine 6 months ago. It's hard to find, and when you can find it, it is pricey.
Yep.
But so everyone just always, they're moving through these different categories of fencing. Well, if about this trash dumpster. So if the price of wood is incredibly high, maybe I don't want a wood surround. Maybe I want chain link with vinyl inserts.
Yeah.
If that's a less expensive option. And it provides the same benefit in that it hides from view my trash dumpsters. So I think you're right, Tony, is that demand on the consumer side is high also. We don't see in our area, you don't see a lot of chain link fences in residences. To some extent you do. You see it more so on commercial.
Yes.
Whether you're talking older neighborhoods, you're right. But I'd say the vast majority of chain link that we do as in our area, in our company would probably be commercial. Residential is more of like your wood products. But commercial spending's up too.
Yeah.
Amazon's we didn't get the contract, but Amazon's putting in a ton of fence around their facilities. So, on the consumer side, it's high as well.
Yeah.
Well,
makes sense.
Let's check some guesses. What is Sarah's big news?
Sean
has an idea.
All right.
Will he share it with us? Not Sarah's big news, but that we might talk about
back to that
later.
Not the big news. We were
not Sarah's big news. So this is specifically Sarah's big news. Okay.
Oh no! Don't delete it. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Chad, they're also building. Yep.
I think it's 20 something of these things they're building right now. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
Especially when we see like the size of these things. I forget how many hundreds of thousands of square foot these buildings are, but they are massive.
Yep.
Do we have more guesses? Okay, Shalane
already knows.
Shalane knows. But Shalane is giving the chance to other people.
Yes.
So
if you're just now tuning in, we are taking guesses of what my big announcement is.
Huge news. Huge news. If this were like the 1920s, you'd be hearing. It's not though, so we're just saying huge news.
It's not. But.
It's not oh, you know what we should have done? Oh, we could have created a banner on here that scrolls at the bottom, like breaking Sarah's huge news.
Yes, I like that.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Jeffrey's got a guess.
Who?
Jeffrey's got a guess.
Where?
Oh, almost.
Didn't even see that one. No, that is
not that big a news.
Not that big a news.
That would be huge news.
Yep.
But this is huge news too. I don't want to downplay it, but
sure, having a baby is big news.
Massive news. That would be massive news. This is huge news.
Yes. All right, we got a couple more.
Okay.
Shane. No.
That's an interesting thought. So we talked about that. Where did I talk about? Oh, I was doing a podcast interview this morning. And we were talking about business models for fence companies.
Yeah.
One of our competitors here in town is following kind of that business model of expanding into, they do work in Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. They go up into Nebraska sometimes. They have an office in Texas, in Dallas or something like that. Actually, two of them are following. One did it, and then the other one's following them. that model of expanding to additional cities. Shane, my thought is, though, you really start losing your identity as a company. I feel like when you start getting that big, I like to think that we identify as a family-owned and operated fence company.
Yeah.
We know all of our guys, by name. We know their families by name. We know kind of what they're going through and all that. Both are positives and negatives, and how we can help them through those. And we know our customers.
Yes.
And I like that. I really do like that about us. I think when you start expanding and growing just for the sake of growth, I think you start to lose that identity a little bit.
Yeah.
We are growing as a business. So we've got some news to talk about later on about that. But that would be fence news. This is Sarah's news. This is Sarah's big news.
All right. Another guess.
Do we have another guess?
All right.
Have there been 5 guesses?
Yep.
Sean.
You are correct, Sean.
Virtual high five. You had to give him a high five, too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Virtual high five.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Sarah's getting hitched.
I got engaged yesterday. So
yeah.
Super exciting.
Very cool. Very exciting.
And before anyone asks, no, we have not talked about dates or anything like that. But yeah.
You're telling me I don't have an invitation waiting for me at the office?
No, I don't even know anything.
You're kidding me.
There's a lot of big things happening.
Yeah.
But yeah. So got
and we kind of like him.
Yeah.
He's an okay guy.
Keeper.
Yeah. He's actually a really good guy. We like TJ a lot.
Yes.
As a fan. This is the royal we.
The royal
we. We as the family.
Yes.
Really like him a lot. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We couldn't be happier for you guys.
I'm very excited. It's awesome. All right, I'm going to take that one down there.
All right, I'm going to step out for just a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to let you take over.
All right.
And I'm going to go to the boys' room.
Okay, absolutely.
And I'm going to do a bit of a costume change a little bit.
Oh, cool.
But just because I want.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. It's awesome. Oh. Backwards. I know, right? So that whenever Sean was asking earlier, not Sean, Jeff was saying about me having a baby earlier, that was the first thing I heard of after I made my big announcement on social media. It was either when's the baby due or all right, now when do we get grandbabies? So both sides. So yes, that is a common question that we have been getting. We said, you know what? One thing at a time. We'll get there. All right. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. We're really excited. Very happy. Big changes happening. So, all right. Thank you, Nathan. It's awesome. Well, thank you guys. I mean, I feel like you're part of our virtual family and we like to bring that kind of stuff in here. So I appreciate all of the congratulations. It's very exciting. I have not stopped looking at it all day. It's kind of annoying everyone else around me, but I don't know. I'm excited. What other questions you guys have? Not really sure. Joe does a lot of the talking, if you haven't realized. So I'm just kind of here to answer any questions you guys have or just have conversations. So we are coming up on Christmas. So as Joe said, we are taking off Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day for our families. Big, long, nice weekend. Is everyone traveling? That's another question I get a lot. We don't travel for us, but what is the furthest you guys travel to go see family? Are you still doing it this year? I've heard back and forth a lot. I've actually heard travel costs are down quite a bit. So I'm curious to see. I haven't needed to travel, but curious to see kind of what everyone's doing for Christmas or holidays. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. And then that New Year's too. So we've got a couple short weeks coming up. It'll be nice. Kind of worked out for us. We've got a couple smaller jobs that we can set on a Monday and on a Wednesday. And so that really works out for our schedule. But yeah, just kind of curious. We're talking a little bit about Christmas and what everyone's doing for Christmas. So
what a coincidence. I brought my Christmas hat.
Perfect.
Actually, I forgot
timing.
to put this on before the broadcast. I meant to put this on and I forgot to. So I was like,
I like it.
Seize the moment. If I have to get off camera anyway, might as well show my holiday spirit.
Be festive.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what were we talking about?
Christmas, if anyone was traveling.
Oh, yep.
So I said, we don't really travel, but here's a big one.
So
I said, what's the biggest one? Like biggest travel?
Oh, travel plan? Yeah, that's a good question.
All right. Ohio to Florida.
Whew.
Wow. Okay.
I think Ken might have it.
Yeah.
I think that is a big trip. That sounds like a fun trip, though.
Flying or driving, Ken?
Oof. God, you hope flying.
I would hope so.
That would be a big drive. You never know. But yeah, so I'd have to think Ohio's weather is similar to here, cold and bitter.
Yep.
Florida sounds good right now.
Yeah.
As long as all like procedures are followed and socially distanced and et cetera and onward.
Yeah.
That weather sounds nice.
Yeah.
The weather sounds nice. Toes in the sand.
Yep.
Nice little sunburn, maybe.
Well, is it the beach though? Do we know that? Is he going to maybe like
in my mind it
Orlando
is.
or like
No.
Tallahassee?
No, in my mind he's going to the beach.
Oh.
So maybe Ken should like follow up. But in my mind, Ken's going swimming.
So a few years ago over Thanksgiving,
my
dad took our sister and her kiddos to Disney.
Yeah, without us.
Yeah, without us. Still a little bitter.
Little bitter.
Very bitter. So this was the week before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And it gets down there. And if any of you know my dad, he is a huge Disney buff. We all are. But like, he's the Disney guy.
Disney guy.
If he had a YouTube channel, it would be the Disney guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and his dream, like retirement dream, would be to retire to Florida and work. So there's this company called, what is it called?
It's Kids the World.
Give Kids the World. That's right. And so it's similar to like Make-A-Wish, but specifically for the Orlando area attractions, whether it's SeaWorld or Disney, but what's the other one? Universal. Mm-hmm. So you go and they put you up and you basically tell them what your dreams would be.
Well, okay. There's a specification here.
Yeah.
So TJ's family had a situation where one of his cousin's children had cancer.
Oh.
But Chase was too young to verbally say that he wanted to go somewhere. And Make-A-Wish is very, like, you have to verbally tell them what you want.
Understand.
So they were not able to do Make-A-Wish, but Give Kids the World was able to, like, they went down there.
Oh, wow.
To a different organization.
I haven't heard this story. This is awesome.
Yeah. I actually just found it out a couple weeks ago. I always kind of knew, but I had mentioned something to his mom, Tracy. I said something about Give Kids the World and how I just love it down there and it's amazing. And she's like, wait, Chase went there. And we're like, what? And so we kind of talked about that. And it's phenomenal. And it's a place where I'm going to nerd out for a minute. But every single day, so it's typically terminally ill patients, not necessarily children, but normally children. And they take you around in trolleys and every family gets your own condo and it's stocked and it's phenomenal. But every single day of the week is a different holiday because typically those children aren't able to make it to the next one. Gonna get emotional, but yeah. So one day will be Christmas and then the next day might be Easter and then the next day is 4th of July and it could be April. But they have, their only rule is that the kids get to make all the decisions. So they have a ice cream shop that actually opens at like 6 a.m. So the kids want ice cream for breakfast, they're getting ice cream for breakfast. And it's a really neat situation. Yeah. And we actually, when we were going to Disney all the time, we always went to a place called Yeehaw Bob.
Yeah.
He's a dueling piano.
Well, guy.
I say dueling, but he's not dueling. Anyone,
yeah. You need to search YouTube because he's there. Yeehaw Bob.
Especially if you little ones.
This guy. Yeah. Well, not even the little ones. Like I guess especially the little ones, but I had a great time when we went to see him. Yeah. YouTube search Yeehaw Bob.
Yep. Port Orleans, Riverside.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Orleans, Riverside is where he's at. But yeah, he actually donated his time once a week. He went and performed there.
Oh, that's cool.
Give Kids the World. So that's how
very cool.
We were like, Give Kids the World. What is that? And then we did some research on it and found that. So yeah, sorry. So that is what Give Kids the World is. So our dad retirement plan.
Yeah, and so if you're there, you could say, well, I would love to go to Disney World. And they said, okay, done. You're going to Disney World. But not only are you going to Disney World, we're going to send you with a Disney World specialist that knows all, like you just tell them what I would love to ride, whatever. I would love to ride Space Mountain, and then I would love to meet this princess. And then this specialist is like, yep, I got you.
Yep.
We have your day planned out, and we're going to start here and here and here to make the most of this day. And if anyone is adequately equipped for that, it is our dad.
Yes.
Going on vacation with him, it's a bit much in a good way.
Yes.
But your vacation is planned before you leave.
You get the very most out of your vacation.
You do. You don't sleep much. No. You don't sleep much, but you don't want to. If you're paying to be there, you don't want to pay to sleep.
No.
Good motto to have. I get it.
Not one memory to be missed.
No, you get all of them.
Awesome.
And it's like he has an itinerary too. He's like, all right, so based on historical gate attendance, we need to be at Magic Kingdom on Tuesday And when we get to Magic Kingdom, typically the ride attendance is lowest at Tomorrowland in the morning. So we're going to Tomorrowland first because the lines will be shorter. Yes. Now we need to do this like the whole day is planned. It is. And but it's kind of nice because it goes really well.
Yeah, it does. And you get to hit all the things. He does. It's kind of this similar situation where he's like, hey, what do you want to ride? What's your number one ride that you want to ride here? Yep. Let's get a fast pass for it. And then the other rides, let's hit them first thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots of walking. Yep. I don't think a single day that we've been to Disney, I've had less than 10 miles on my Fitbit.
It's a heck of a diet plan, let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
nice. We're apparently a big Disney show.
Yes, big Disney show. Yeah, that's an idea. There we go.
So Ken, we just went down a rabbit hole, but so he's flying.
Ken is flying. Good.
Love
Good
it.
For you, Ken.
Love it.
All right.
And see?
Go to Tampa. Okay.
So
I stand corrected.
Toes in the sand sounds like to me.
I like it.
I mean, there's other things to do in Tampa, I'm sure, but
Tampa Airport is not too shabby. I like
Tampa St. Pete.
In
That's
and
a good
out.
one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yep.
Liked
so
it a lot.
Allegiant flies there, which is how we know about Tampa St. Pete.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about the fence company news?
I think we should. Why not?
We didn't advertise it that a correct guess would get a virtual high five, but let's highlight the answer.
Oh yeah.
Someone hit the nail on the head.
All right.
Sean, we got to time this. 1, 2, 3. Virtual high five.
Yes.
To Sean. So we're also expanding. Yep. We close Monday on a new location next to us, a large location to be sure.
Yeah.
We're going from office and shop combined. We're at about 1,400 square feet, which is tight. Now, the thing about our office is very small. Like, what do you think? 15 by 20, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And it's all one room. There's a little shop, or a little closet in the back, but all one room. So everyone is in everyone's business, which is nice because it makes conversations really easy and that sort of thing. But so when my granddad built this building, it was him and my dad.
Yeah.
So this office was built for 2 people, and it's a great size for 2 people.
For 2 people, yeah.
You put 4 people in there, it's a little tight,
a little cramped.
So the office is bigger. There are offices in it. They're actually like legitimate offices, so we're pretty excited for that upgrade.
Absolutely.
The production side is a lot larger. So our fabrication shop is like 4 times the size just in that one shop. Those guys are super excited. So the benefit being, it'll let us, like right now we're capped at about a 30-foot wide cantilever gate. Now we can do whatever size we want. This thing's like 80 feet long. This shop is. So now granted, you could make an 80-foot cantilever, I guess, but you have to cut it in half and weld it on site because they don't make trailers that long legally.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's a lot more space. So we're going from 1,400 square foot to I think 11,400 is kind of the size we're talking about. Lots of shop space that the guys are very thankful for. We've got a conference room, meeting room, so we can meet with clients there, go through like the quote tool, that sort of thing. Signing documents need to be signed. We also have some workshops that we're very excited about. That we can do all sorts of things. One idea that's been rattling around in my head for a while is to take our scrap lumber and turn it into nice cedar lattice. Not something you really see much locally. You see treated pine lattice a lot, but it's usually really thin.
Yes.
This will be a nice, chunky, thick cedar lattice.
I like it.
I think that'll do really well. I think people will like that. And it'll let us recycle some materials that would normally get thrown away. So has an area for that. But most importantly to this show, it's got some studio space.
That's true.
This is a commercially zoned property, so this is not an apartment. It is a caretaker's quarters. Mm-hmm. Do not even think to call it an apartment. That is not what this is.
Be in trouble.
Caretaker's quarters. Anyway, it's going to be our YouTube studio. So right now we're in a leased office. So 10 by 12, something like that. A little bit tight because we're running this show here. We also have my YouTube channel. I had the Joe Everest YouTube channel. Also have I have a Pinnacle Finds YouTube channel that's basically I collect sports cards. I'm building a sports card collection for my son when he's old enough to appreciate one. So the YouTube channel documents that. We're running 3 shows out of this place. A little bit tight. a little bit tight. Like I can literally reach out right now and touch another table. And Sarah's got one just off camera there.
Yep.
Yeah. And so behind this lovely backdrop, we actually have storage like shelves behind there. We're utilizing all the space, but we're going to be able to spread out for a little bit. And we're going to be able to take you guys behind the scenes. I want to take them behind the scenes to do like all the remodeling stuff.
That'd be really neat. Yeah.
Now the office itself needs remodeled. I don't know that that's going to be super interesting to this crowd just because it's basically we got to do some floor work. The floors are kind of a little wonky. Got to fix the floors. And then while we're doing it, we're going to do some drywall work. We have to run networking. So this isn't going to happen. Like we close Monday. This isn't going to happen Monday because we have to run at minimum networking cables throughout the entire place.
Yeah.
The version of networking that is currently in place is a router with about 4 Cat5 cables that go up through the drop ceiling and just like drop down randomly. Not quite going to cut it for our office. We have VoIP phones, so internet phones. Also, each of our workstations is plugged directly in. So, and we need new cameras. So we need a camera system. All in all, it's like 50 networking runs. So we're trying to outsource that. We're waiting on getting a bid back on the networking runs, but we need to do that. But anyway, I want to bring these guys and gals behind the scenes when we do the YouTube studio.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So kind of the remodeling, taking it from a caretaker's quarters, not an apartment, into a YouTube studio.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think you guys would enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. But we'll be probably reviewing like the products we use, even though they're not like paid. I've found some nice products I think we'll use as far as like backdrops and stuff like that.
Cool.
I'm gonna build in like some shelves where we can like put neat knickknacks and things on the shelves behind us. Yeah. Things I see like big YouTubers doing.
Like it. Yeah.
There's one we follow called Roger Wakefield. He's he's a incredible guy. So
awesome.
Yeah. Got some more comments we're missing out on here. Try to get caught up.
Thank you, Shalane.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about expanding.
Yeah.
Shalane's horse training facility.
True.
Talk about expansion, Shalane.
Yes.
It's fun to watch. Like I live vicariously through like several people in my Facebook. Shalane's one of them.
Yep.
Shalane has gone out on her own. Not gone out on her own. That's probably not fair, but she's always wanted to do that. She's always done that. But her and her husband Matt have done an incredible job at turning a home into like a training facility.
Absolutely.
It is incredibly fun to watch.
Yes. So I'll kind of plug her in too. So Shalane owns Spring Hill Stables here in North Springfield.
Yep.
Kind of out 13 in that general direction. Easy to get to. But they do riding lessons. She also has training. And so we grew up showing Arabians.
Well, they show too, right?
Yes. Yeah. So she has a show team. But it's not just that. So
no. Right.
Yeah. So if you have any little ones that need riding lessons, absolutely talk to Shalane. But their facility is really cool, and they're expanding and doing an indoor arena at the moment. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
so
huge.
Congratulations on your expansion, Shalane.
We're really happy for you too.
Yep.
Even though I don't really care for that comment.
Get married at the fence at Ozark Fence. I like it. We are available, and for a reasonable fee, we could make the fabrication shop like look festive. I think.
Twinkly lights on.
Lots of twinkle lights. Lots of twinkle. Well, no. We would put that under a tarp.
Oh.
We would tarp that. We would it would look nice.
Now here's my question.
Okay.
When we exit.
Yeah.
Are you going to invest in like the little sprinkler thing? The 4th of July.
Sparklers?
Or is Matt just going to be like welding something? And so it's just sparking as we go. Like,
you know what? I haven't seen that before. That would be
welding an archway.
Yeah, he's going to have an arc welder.
Yeah.
Well, we could have 2 of them. Like I'll do one too. Like I'm willing to do that for you. Where we had 2 arc welders and it's just like cascade of like, arc welding.
Yeah. We could.
I'm saying, and we would. We'd be pretty reasonable.
That's an idea.
Our dad's always making this joke about like no matter what, like when Sarah needs when she goes to NSU, and he gets it from my granddad. My granddad would make the joke too, like, "Well, what are you going to a doctor for?
Yeah,
we got pliers in the shop. We'll just do that right here. We'll only charge you half." So I'm continuing that tradition by saying, why would you like pay to have your wedding somewhere when we have a perfectly good shop? We'll only charge you half. And think of the memories. Who do you know that has gotten married in a fabrication shop? Answer me that.
That's true.
One of one. One of one. It'll be incredibly unique.
Huh.
We could even do it Facebook Live. Bring everyone into it.
Yes, you're all coming to the wedding. I love it.
We'll talk about it. Just consider it. We'll talk about it.
The ideas are not getting any better. No.
Of course, because that is our new family color. Absolutely, that is going to happen. That could be it. Who do you know that's gotten married in an orange wedding dress?
Funny you should say that.
Oh.
If you Pinterest it,
yeah,
it's blaze orange, and the groom wore a camo tuxedo.
I love that you've looked this up.
Oh,
that is what I like a lot.
Deal.
That you have looked this up. I love that a lot because that means there's like a chance.
No. When my friend Olivia got married, her husband is a big hunter, and so we were feeding her ideas. And it's a lot less funny when you're on this side.
I was gonna say, how does it feel to be on that side of the conversation?
Yeah. So
Olivia, if you're watching, feel free to just send all the ideas right back to her.
I just get a massive.
She's like, hey, I saved all of what you sent me, and I'm gonna send it back to you once a day for like the next month.
Yeah. But that is an idea. We got another vote for the welder.
Shalane's in on the welder. Okay. Good to know.
All right.
So it's basically done at this point. So just let us know what dates you'd like to do it, and we will make that happen.
Yeah, I'll definitely get back to you on
we
that.
We could do the reception in the so we're going to have one shop that's for staining and sealing.
Sure.
So that you could go from, you don't have to feel like you're going to get married the same place you have the reception. It could be fancy. You could do the reception elsewhere.
Yes.
Where
just walk right through the workshops.
Yeah, through the workshops, and then out through that courtyard, and then you'd be in the reception hall. That's what we'd call it for you. We would call it the reception
hall. And it does have a courtyard.
It does have a courtyard.
Yeah.
We could put lots of twinkly lights in that courtyard.
I'm a little worried that there would be a lot of uninvited guests, maybe neighborhood guests. We do get those from time to time.
Yeah. It's fenced. It's completely fenced.
It is. The fence is also only about 4 foot high on that side.
No, it's easily 5.
You think?
It's easily 5 foot tall.
Is? I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. Yeah.
The fence is probably already also going to get fixed.
Yes. Yes. Oh, stain and seal experts. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Welcome, guys.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for tuning in.
We're working on the YouTube channel. We're working on some exciting news with the stain and seal experts.
Awesome.
I'm going to tease that. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Welcome, guys.
Yes, we're so happy you're here. It's great.
All right. Are we missing anything here?
Okay.
That is a fact. You put Brent on security, no one's getting in.
Could we maybe put Brent on catering as well?
No, the crab and lobster for me, please. Please. No catering. No catering. No, that's awesome. It's so fun to watch Brent. So Brent has a YouTube page as well where he does lobstering and he does spearfishing.
Yeah.
It is so much. I live vicariously through Brent as well. So
okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yep.
I like that. Yep.
Then he could absolutely work security. you might have to bail him out, but he will absolutely work security.
Fine. Yeah. I like it. We're actually doing TJ's family for Christmas. They're doing a seafood. It's almost like a seafood chowder.
Oh, nice.
And I'm really excited about that.
Oh, we didn't talk about. So let's finish the story. So about my dad and Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take this down.
No, you're fine. So when he was out there, he caught a bacteria in his lungs, plural, I guess, that eats oxygen. I forget the term for it. I forget what it is, but it is a bacteria in his lungs. It presented kind of like pneumonia. Couldn't catch his breath. He was coughing a lot. There's a bacteria that ate oxygen. So he was hospitalized for, I don't know, about a week, but it was a while.
It was a long time.
And but my sister and her kids had to come back. They had return flights, right? So it's just him and my mom down there. So I went down there as well. So I got to spend Thanksgiving that year. Actually, on Thanksgiving Day, I went to Daytona Beach. Mm-hmm. So mom and dad were like, "Hey."
They kicked you out.
Yeah, they're like, "You've been hanging out at the hospital the whole time. Like,
get out of here.
You're not going to come down to Florida and not go see a beach." I'm like, I don't know. Like, no, you're going. Yep. So I had, but what reminded me is I had a seafood meal. So I walk in. So I was on the beach at Daytona Beach, and I was asking folks, like, listen, I was asking the guy doing the chairs. I was like, where would you go if you're going to have like an awesome meal? Where would you go? He's like, oh, you got to go, and I forget the name of it, but you got to go down here and eat there. I was like, okay, cool. So I walk in, they're like, oh, welcome. How'd you hear about us? Because I was obviously not local. I was like, oh, well, guy down the beach said come here. Like, okay, well, she goes, we're running a Thanksgiving special where we cooked up a Thanksgiving meal, but you probably don't want it. Like, oh, what is it? Like, well, it's like turkey and ham and mashed potatoes and corn and probably all the stuff you usually eat. And I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, but we can make you like a seafood Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yes, please. I will take that. And it was the best. So cool. That randomly, you talking about Thanksgiving seafood.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah. The beach. Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
I like kind of the traditional food is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's fun when you hear people, say, oh, well, we do lasagna. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
100%. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's fun to be traditional, but then also it's fun to branch out from it. And I will stir this pot a little bit more. Sure. And if you're having a traditional Christmas, please leave mashed potatoes out of it.
Here we go.
I'm going to keep on this train until we come to a consensus that mashed potatoes are not a real side, not a standalone. I will accept after last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about this, I will accept that mashed potatoes are a garnishment. Because you usually like dip stuff in them, like turkey or whatever. Like if the turkey's a little dry, dip it in those mashed potatoes. Maybe it helps.
I think of garnishments more like what Big Whiskey's puts on the side of like appetizers, like kale.
Oh,
or
okay. So, but like it's an accessory. Mashed potatoes are an accessory. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, leave them off. Don't try to tell me the mashed potatoes are a side because they're not. Like, just leave it off. Oh, and you weren't here for this. So last week, Taylor thought it would be hilarious after we had this whole discussion. You talked about, what was it, Country Bob's mashed potatoes or
Bob
something.
Evans.
Bob Evans mashed potatoes. Well, don't you know, that night, what did we have for dinner?
But it was a side. She had mashed potatoes as a side.
Tried to say it was. Did I eat them? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it under protest? Not quite, but
still ate them.
I get the point. All right.
Oh, let's see here. We got Nicole.
Oh, what's up, Nicole?
Hello. Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Favorite mountain range.
I think you might have to fight Ellie for that one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe you could walk with Ellie.
Yeah.
Or Ellie could walk you. You could be in. You know how sometimes they have the junior bridesmaids and they pull them in a wagon. Ellie could pull you in a wagon. I like it.
Now we're on to something because I haven't seen that wedding either.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of one-on-ones at this wedding.
I like it.
So, hey, real quick shout out to Nicole. So last night, my kiddos stayed with their grandma and papa, but then today, Nicole took care of the kids this morning and let Taylor rest. So, Nicole, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate you a lot. That means quite a lot to us that Taylor was able to kind of rest and relax this morning for a bit. Thank you.
Yep. Nicole is one of a kind. Oh.
Oh.
Well, we'll work on her. Yeah.
She'll come around to
candy or something. I don't know.
I mean, this thing isn't going to happen for a couple of weeks, so she'll come around to it. So, no big deal.
All right, we got Ken on the grill.
Ken's grilling.
Okay.
I love it. I love where your head's at on that one.
Okay.
I think we're going to smoke a ham again.
Yeah.
I like smoking hams. So our Christmas is going to be a little bit different than normal. So Taylor's is obviously expecting at any time. Sure. So right before Thanksgiving, the doctor said that she cannot be in groups larger than 6. And if you're around her, you got to have a face mask and all that to make sure she stays healthy, which is absolutely the goal. But that means that we didn't do family Thanksgiving. And usually we have everyone over to the house Christmas Eve to our house. And we do Christmas meal at our house. That's not happening. So we will also be grilling Ken. I'm going to smoke a ham.
I like it.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Good. No. Solid point, Caleb. Perfectly good waste of a potato. You might take it so far as to say mashed potatoes are disrespectful to potatoes in general.
So what is a
change my mind
use of a potato then?
French fries. French fries are a great use. You could whether we're talking about country fries, which are good, or the shoestring fries, I'll accept that as well. French fries, perfectly good use of a potato. I'll accept baked potatoes. Loaded baked potato, perfectly fine, acceptable. Just simply smashing them and throwing them on a plate.
No.
disrespectful to potatoes.
But you're not going to eat a baked potato plain. You're going to put things on that baked potato. Yes.
All right, listen, we're getting away from the point here.
Okay.
And that is mashed potatoes are disrespectful to potatoes.
Got it.
Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate your support on this.
Unsubscribe, disdain, and seal.
No, resubscribe.
All right.
Someone said something.
Ellie. She said no to that idea. And then.
No, that's not what she said.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that one. Okay. Brent deep fried a turkey.
Yeah.
First time.
Very nice. And see, this is the fun part, right? Is that so Brent is obviously used to cooking phenomenal seafood, and like that's his usual, right?
Yeah.
And which is not a bad usual. No, I would love that usual.
That's awesome.
But when that's your usual, you go
to the other.
You go to the opposite. Yeah. So deep frying a turkey.
I like it.
Didn't even burn his house down.
Yeah. Do not do that frozen.
Props to you. Yeah. Don't do it frozen. Don't do it inside.
Yep.
Pretty common mistakes here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Leads to a few missing houses.
Yep.
So, Yep. They do like whole PSAs here, like week-long PSAs. Do not deep fry your turkey in the house. And do not deep fry a frozen turkey. Here are some tips to properly deep frying your turkey. It's a whole thing.
Still doesn't matter. There'll still be at least one house fire.
Oh, you burn houses down all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. The fire stations, like they're probably taking. They probably don't take bets. That's probably like not. They might. How many do you think today, Bob? I'd say 3 to 5. All right, Bob's on the board for 3 to 5.
Yep.
Guaranteed that happens.
I guarantee. All right. Ooh, now we're talking. I like this. Yeah.
All right.
I like this a lot.
I understand that there are like offshoots of the mashed potato concept that work. Mm-hmm. I'll admit that. That's fine. I'm saying if you straight up mash potatoes, if all you're going to do with these things is just smash them up real quick and throw them on a plate, it's disrespectful to potatoes. You need to put a little bit more effort into it to show proper respect to the potato.
I feel like there's a lot of preparation that goes into mashed potatoes, actually. You have to bake the potato, then you have to like cut it into
smash it up and throw it on a plate.
And you put some butter in it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of steps.
Nicole's on your side. I'm trying to help you here.
Sweet potatoes are the bomb.
No,
we already said that. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm trying to help you out. Thanks for thanking me.
That's true. But that was kind of his point. He's like, you wouldn't eat potatoes by themselves. You have to eat them with gravy.
You always have to add something to them to make them acceptable.
Because sometimes it just has like white gravy. I don't want white gravy on my mashed potatoes. It's turkey gravy or bust.
Agreed. But
I'm doing it.
Potatoes by themselves are bland.
No, you put salt.
They're just like you put salt on them. Thank you. Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you. Moving on. I appreciate you agreeing with me.
But mashed potatoes aren't really just potatoes. Like those would be like crumble potatoes. You cannot have like a true mashed potato is like creamy and nice and it's great and it's gonna have your butter and your milk.
Yeah, you're adding stuff to it. Yeah, you gotta add stuff to it to make it good.
Right. So
it's not an independent
it's not really
side.
like you're talking about like crumbly potatoes or something. I don't know.
It's just same.
Let's see here.
All right. Yeah. Baked low roasted. Ooh. Roasted is a solid. Country potatoes. Love country potatoes.
Or fried potatoes.
Fried potatoes are good as well.
Yep. They're good.
Yeah, we don't even have Bubblegum Shrimp Company here. Like when I go places, I get to eat there, but not in Southwest Missouri.
No.
We're not exactly known for our coastal access, though. So
they do have the best coconut fried shrimp.
I am in on coconut shrimp.
Love it.
In on it. So fan. we've got a local restaurant called Hemingway's.
Yeah.
It's in Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
Amazing coconut shrimp.
So does Joe's Crab Shack.
The bomb, and it is right around lunchtime. So
we know where Joe's going.
Yeah, I'm not going to Hemingway's. It's a little spinny for lunch, but yeah. Orange food coloring in there. Would you consider that fruit mashed potato? Brent, listen.
Huh. Maybe like a flavored.
Stop trying to make me like these things. If they're orange, I'll eat them. Is that what you're wanting me to say? Because I will. I get it. I support orange as a color. I support all things orange. Mm-hmm. If you put orange food coloring in it, I'll eat it. Okay.
That's not necessary. You don't eat sweet potatoes.
I sweet potato fries.
They're not. I eat just about anything drizzled in icing or brown sugar too.
Oh, come on.
All right. Macy agrees. I love it.
Of course she does. Macy's been programmed to agree with Taylor and Sarah. on all things, everything. So nothing new that you brainwashed her into agreeing with you on everything you say.
Jackson doesn't agree with everything you say, though.
She's at the age that where she agrees with people that just disagree with me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? They're like, you have an opinion opposite than my dad, though. Then I'm with you, then, bud. She's at that age.
All right, orange and the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Yeah. You make them orange. I'll eat them. Yeah. I'll eat them. I get it. Am I gonna agree with it? No. I mean, I'll eat it. I need to support the color. I get it. I'm a big orange guy. Love the orange color. I will support the color.
I think we should give it a try. I'll give it a try, Brent. I like it.
Awesome.
Well, we are way over an hour.
Yep. I'm just trying to go back through these.
Oh, make sure. Yes. Nope. Sorry. Nope,
there we go. I agree with it. Yep. Mashed potatoes are in, but okay. So you're almost like forced to accept potatoes. I understand it. It's in your genetics. It's in your makeup. Understood.
It's really like a history thing too. Potatoes are what got Ireland through very rough times.
So Nicole, you should be most upset about the disrespect to potatoes. That people would just mash them up real quick, smash them, and throw them on a plate. You should be most upset about this disrespect. I'm telling you need to look into this because I think I need to talk to the Irish people as a whole and say it is time to stand up against the disrespect to the potatoes. That is mashed potatoes. End the insults today.
I think Ireland would almost say that there was a point in time where that was a main entree. Like that's all they had were potatoes.
I like potatoes. I'm not saying I'm standing up for potatoes. I am pro potato right now.
I don't know that it's coming off that way though.
I'm very much pro potato. Very much. I am not anti potato. You guys know this. You know this. I'm a big potato guy. This is a big potato show, obviously. So like French fries, me and Caleb just talked about it. French fries, baked potatoes, fried potatoes, country potatoes. I'm a big fan of potatoes. Don't you try to make this about me not being good at potatoes. I am a big fan of potatoes.
You like potatoes when they have additions, but you don't like the true core of a potato. You don't like what a potato really is. You only like it if it has superficial additions.
I can't believe you're going here. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
that you're trying to paint me. That you're trying to paint me as anti-potato is wild.
I just think you should appreciate the potato as a whole instead of just trying to change it into something that it doesn't need to be.
I am standing up for the disrespect of potatoes. I am the potatoes champion right now. Potatoes don't have a voice. I will be their voice. Stand up against disrespect, and the disrespect is mashed potatoes.
Out of control. Out of control.
Still.
All right. Mason, deal. Deal, Macy. Deal.
Yeah, that's why she's agreeing with Sarah. She just wants to ride her horse. Come on.
Anytime. All right. Negative. I will eat all things potato. I'm with you, Nicole. That's why I said if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be a potato. You can fix it in so many different ways.
But you're not standing up for the disrespect that is mashed potatoes. That's what I'm saying. How can you be pro potato and allow it to be disrespected by people that will simply just like smush it and throw it on a plate? How is that? I don't get it. Bingo.
All potatoes and a partner.
Bingo.
I'm starting to think maybe you should be a potato partner.
I'm a pretty big potato advocate here. I am the potato champion.
Okay.
I am speaking for the potatoes when they don't have a voice.
I
like where this is going. I like where this show is going. Okay. Big potato show on Ask Offense Cal Friday.
And eat all potatoes.
This is what happens, folks. When you get us in here, that's why we cut it off at an hour, because you get us at an hour and a half, and we start talking about potatoes again.
Yeah, logistics, potatoes, recipes. We had recipes last year.
Yeah,
last time.
Yeah, we dealt with the recipes.
That's true. Regardless of the personal opinion.
Calling mashed potatoes potential is wild, wildly irresponsible. No, I'm not even going there.
Baked potato.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you, buddy. That's right.
Baked potatoes are still
baked potato all the way.
You still add things to a baked potato, just like you would a mashed potato. Your whole point was a mashed potato is not a side because you had to add things to it to make it a good side. A baked potato, you were not just going to put a fork in a baked potato and eat it. You're going to have to put.
You're disrespecting it by smashing. Oh, you're taking a perfectly good baked potato, and you're just going to like smush it and throw it on a plate.
That's not at all.
Oh, it's a whole new
mashed potatoes
side.
are created.
Oh, glory be to mashed potatoes. No, I'm not here for that.
I don't know.
If we've got to start a new channel that is in support of the potato, don't think I won't do it. I mean, we're set up for it right now. We will start a pro potato show.
Okay. I see a cook-off coming. That's what I see.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can be
see it.
disrespectful all you want to. That's fine.
Oh. Dylan's in the doghouse. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is
Dylan
what
says
I am
thanks.
saying.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping the disrespect, Nicole. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. If Nicole is the first person that is standing up against the disrespect of potatoes by saying that she will not serve mashed potatoes. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate your help.
This is getting out of control.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you.
That is not
All the support is
true.
showing up. Yep. That's right.
No, okay,
That's the thing.
hold
You wouldn't prepare a perfectly good steak and then like smash it up and serve it.
No.
That's getting into a whole other thing. Chop steak. Don't get me started on chop steak because that's what you're doing. Chop steak is a mashed potatoes of steaks.
Okay, but with a beautiful steak and dumping ketchup on it. Like, that's what you're doing with all of your potatoes. You're adding things to those potatoes. You're frying them. You're chopping them. I think we're on the same page here, Brent. I really
We're
do.
not. All you're doing is smushing them. Smush you and put it on the plate.
That's
what you're doing with mashed
potatoes. Like, it is very obvious that you have not ever made mashed potatoes by yourself. If you think that you just smush them.
Smush them. Throw them on a plate.
That's not at all. I don't think you deserve mashed potatoes. Revoked. Mashed potato privileges revoked.
Thank you, Sarah, for being the second person to stand up against mashed potatoes by pledging not to serve them. Thank you. We're up to two. Nicole and Sarah have pledged. You heard it here live. You heard it here. She's pledged not to make mashed potatoes to stop the disrespect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Speaking of thank you all for hanging out with us.
We appreciate you guys. Let us be letting Sarah be wrong all the time. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It really does. Thank you guys for standing up with me for this great injustice. I appreciate you guys a lot. You mean a lot. Thanks for sticking around with us.
Yeah,
6 of you have stuck around for this mashed potato conversation, and I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate you guys joining us. As we said before, if you guys missed it, we'll be here live next Wednesday because Friday is Christmas. So Wednesday, noon to, usually say noon to 1, but right now it's like 1:30 or something. So, got one last one.
And to Brent's point, thank you so much, Brent. I appreciate it. I'm really excited. And we
Absolutely.
hope you have a beautiful weekend.
Yep. This is why I like Brent so much, is he's so positively uplifting.
I love it.
Yeah, so we'll join you guys next Wednesday. We appreciate you guys sticking it out with us for so long. And, say if you have any other Finch questions or comments, you'd like to tell Sarah she's wrong, drop that in the comments below. We always watch the comments as this is going on. And so also if we see questions after the live is done, we'll bring them up next week. We'll write them right over here on our whiteboard, and we'll bring it up next week. Of course, you can always reach out to Sarah. Sarah, how can they reach out to you? All
right, just send me an email at sarah@ozfence.com.
And if you want to back me up on this, if you want to sign up to stop the disrespect of mashed potatoes or potatoes in general by making the mashed potatoes, you can send that on over to me. It's joe@ozfence.com. We might start like make potatoes great again.
No.
Stop the injustice.
That's all right.
Guys, thank you. Appreciate you guys a lot. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.